All right, guys, day 8. Um, let's see what we can do here. Um, what I would like you to do, and also at this point, you also should be thinking about your papers. Paper 1 is due at the end of September, so make sure you're checking the assignments on that. And paper 1, you can go take a look at it, but it's 3 quotes from Plato. There's no surprises. These aren't like tricky pop quiz kind of papers. There's no surprises. You go over on Blackboard, you click on assignments, you find paper 1 on that list. It gives you 3 options. You pick whatever you like. You don't like the 2 of them, pick the third. But it's going to give you a quote from Plato. Guess what I want you to do with it? I want you to tell me, what the hell Plato is talking about and how much you agree or disagree with it. I've picked some quotes for you to work with and try out. So, it's not surprising. And what do I want you to do? You got that handout that shows you what I want. It's the same thing we do in here every single day, which is read, quote, put the quote in your own words, provide examples, tell me how much you agree or disagree with the thing you just quoted. Tell me why. Give me some reasons. Give me some examples to back that up. You want to get advanced? Try imagining what someone who disagreed with you would say. Give them a whole argument with reasons and examples, and then you tell them why they're wrong with reasons and examples and maybe more quotes. I don't know. So that's it. You just do that. 500 words. You can write 500 words. It's nothing. I know it doesn't feel like nothing, but someday it will feel like nothing. Okay, so that's basically what I want you to do there. No biggie. Sorry, I'm walking. I'm going to turn some lights off and come back this way. All right, cool. So let's take a little, I'm heading back to my station over here. All right, so let's go back to Socrates and just keep going on here. Socrates has paused, and he's mentioned dithyrambics, which means he feels like the gods are speaking through him. It's not really him speaking. Now, I'd let you in on a little secret. It's him. But he loves to sort of pretend like he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's a way of sort of tricking the people he's talking to into underestimating him. So, you've ever seen a movie where somebody looks like they're going to be bad in a fight, and then suddenly they're like really, really good? They kind of tricked you into thinking they didn't know what they were doing. They tricked you into thinking that they were weaker than they were. Socrates is doing that intellectually. He sort of pretends, oh, it's not me speaking, it's the gods speaking through me. Dude, this is you, Socrates. You're a genius. He doesn't say I'm a genius. He says, oh, it has nothing to do with me. The gods are speaking through me. Like, no, dude, it's you. On day 8, I also would like to give you guys another philosophical question to consider in the sort of the comment section and the discussion board or whatever. So go over the discussion board, and I'm going to give you this philosophical question. It's tougher. It's tougher than the first two. The first question I asked you a couple of days ago was, is a hamburger a sandwich? And that was tough. And then I asked you guys to, again, respond, give me your opinion, reasons, examples, and as we learned from Socrates, definitions will help. You need to define your terms. He defines the nature of love as a desire for beauty, and maybe a dangerous desire for beauty that overthrows the brain, destroys it, lets you know you only care about the desire for beauty. So I asked you if a hamburger was a sandwich, and then later on I asked you if a hot dog was a sandwich, and now we've hit the really tricky one. Is a taco a sandwich? Is a taco a sandwich? This is tricky. You're going to have to really think about it. Is tortilla bread? What is bread? You're going to need some definitions. See, it's fine. Is a taco a sandwich? That's your question. So just think about it. It's again, I'm giving you very difficult material to test your powers with. And now I would like you to maybe consider testing them with something sillier so that you can get a break while still also doing important schoolwork. I mean, the point is practice with these tools. Practice with them on silly stuff like, is a taco a sandwich? Or practice with them on serious stuff like quotes from ancient Greek philosopher Plato. But, the point of the class, again, you're going to keep forgetting this, and I'm going to keep reminding you, this is not a class about Plato. I'm not here to make you agree with Plato. I'm not even really here to make you learn Plato, even though it seems like that. I'm here to make sure you learn the moves on this piece of paper. That's my job, is to teach you these moves, and so that you can get really good at these particular moves, particularly these ones and these ones. This would also be nice. Everything else is just kind of extra. So you're just here to practice the moves. Now, Plato happens to be the thing we are practicing on, but this is not a Plato class, really. It's an example. You need examples. My example is Plato, because that's what I want to spend time with, because I think it's interesting, and I think it's important. Plato's so famous, and he built large sections of the world that we currently live in. Like I mentioned this before, the entire concept of a liberal arts college comes from Plato and Socrates. So I think it's worth studying things that caused the world to look the way it does. All right, so with that in mind, let's return to Socrates. So Socrates is going to keep giving his speech, so we're going to be ready to turn onto page 6 in a second here. Thus, my friend, and he, again, this is the character in his sort of story talking about whether it's better to marry a friend or marry someone that is in love with you. Thus, my friend, we have declared and defined the nature of the subject. Keeping the definition in view, let us now inquire what advantage and disadvantage is likely to ensue, to come from, the lover or non-lover to him who accepts their advances. So he's going to say, he says, let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of marrying someone who is in love with you versus marrying someone who is not in love with you. And again, I hate to tell you this, guys, but Socrates' speech is this entire page and then some of this page, just the tippy top of this page, and that is where we are going. So, all right, let's see if we can do this. He who is the victim of his passions and the slave of pleasure will, of course, desire to make his beloved as agreeable to himself as possible, right? So if you love somebody, you want to make the person you love be just like you want them to be like. I'm sure you guys have been in relationships where someone is being very controlling, and they love you. I mean, even your mom can love you and also want you to be just like they want you to be like. And boyfriends and girlfriends can sort of, pressure you into being a certain kind of way or doing certain kinds of things. That's one of Socrates' first points here. Advantages and disadvantages of friends versus lovers. Now, to him who has a mind, it says discased. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be diseased. I apologize for that. Now, to him who has a mind diseased, anything is agreeable which is not opposed to him, but that which is equal or superior is hateful to him, and therefore the lover will not brook any superiority or equality on the part of his beloved. Well, that's interesting. Let's translate that into modern day terms. Plato says, or Socrates says, to a mind diseased, anything is agreeable which is not opposed to him, but that which is equal or superior is hateful to him, and therefore the lover will not brook any superiority or equality on the part of his beloved. In other words, people in love want to be able to control the people they are in love with, and so they will not allow anything to happen that would cause the person they love to be better than them. Because if they're better, if the person they're in love with, if the person I'm in love with is better than me, they're going to be harder to control. And people in love want to control the people they're with, says Socrates. This is Socrates' opinion. And again, he's going to reject this whole opinion later. But his point is, right now, he's trying to argue like Lysias. And one of the things he says is that people in love want to control who they are in love with. Because they want them around all the time, they want them to have sex with all the time, and so they're going to control them. And they're going to want that person to be controllable, means they better be weak. So Socrates thinks that if someone is in love with you, they're going to try to make you weak so that you can be more easily controlled. That is disturbing on many levels, and I think I'm going to have some more things to say about that. Actually, let's keep going. So he says, actually, no, let's stop there for a second and do this because something very, very big is coming up that is going to take up all of our time in a second. So this idea that people want weak people in love want the people, if someone is in love with you, they might want you to be weak so that you're easier to control. So that, again, what do? We took Plato's quote, check. Okay, then we put it in our own words. Got it. Then we need some examples of this. Now, again, I don't need examples from ancient Greece because this isn't a class about ancient Greece, as I said. It's a class about using words and learning the moves on this piece of paper. So let's think of some examples. Is it true that in society today, can we think of what Socrates could be? Actually, before we get to whether we think it's true, let's see if we can imagine what Socrates is talking about and if that's true for modern day society. Well, one thing you might want to think about is, do people in love want the people they love to be weak so that they can control them? Well, there's a couple of things about American society you might notice. Um, when men pursue women, they often prefer smaller women. When men pursue women romantically, they often don't like women who are super duper smart. There's a cliche about girls who pretend to be stupid to get boys. Why? Because if the person is smarter than they are, harder to control. Um, when men pursue women, they often prefer them not just to be smaller, shorter, but less muscular. When men pursue women, a lot of men prefer women who are younger, who are not as smart, who are not as muscular. And we say people will literally be like, these things are like the opposites of these things are. Oh, that girl's got too many muscles. She's not attractive. Or that girl's too big. She's not attractive. Or that girl's too smart. I don't like that. She's a bitch. Um, this is what Socrates is talking about. That people in love want to kind of control other folks. It's true in modern day society. All right, I went over my time on this, so I'll pick that up in the next video.